मत देख भोला वीसरा, मत देख भोला वीसरा, मत देख भोला वीसरा, मत देख भोला वीसरा। तेरा चित्त देख भोला वीसरै। मेरा चित न आवे नाम, मेरा चित न आवे नाम। मत देख भोला वीसरै, मत देख भोला वीसरै, मत देख भोला, मत देख भोला, मत देख भोला वीसरै। साजना मेरा मन लगा, लोगन स्यो मेरा ठाठा बागा। बाहर सूत सगल स्यो मोला, अलिपित रहो जैसे जल में कोला। मुख की बात सगल स्यो करता, जी संग प्रभ अपना तरता। दी सावत है बहुत पिहाला, सगल चरण की हो मन राला। नानक जन गुरपुरा पाया, अंतर बाहर एक दिखाया। जैसे जल में कमल अलेप, ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्लेप। जैसे जल में कमल अलेप, ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्लेप। जैसे जल में कमल अलेप, ब्रह्म कमल
सदा निर्लेप।
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्दोष, ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा
निर्लेप।
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्दोष,
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्लेप।
जैसे सूर सर्व को सुख,
जैसे सूर सर्ब को सुख,
जैसे जल में कमल अलेप, ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्लेप, जैसे
जल कमल ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा ब्रह्म ज्ञानी
सदा
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी का दृष्टि समान,
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी के दृष्ट समान,
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी का दृष्टि समान,
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी के दृष्ट समान,
जैसे राज रंग को लागे तुल भगवान, जैसे राज रंग को लागे तुल भगवान, जैसे राज रंग को लागे तुल भगवान,
जैसे राज रंग को लागे पुल भगवान,
जैसे जल में कमल अलेप, ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्लेप, जैसे जल में
कमल
अलेप,
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्लेप,
ब्रह्म
ज्ञानी
सदा निर्लेप,
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी के तीरज एक,
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी के धीरज ज्ञानी सदा
नानक ब्रह्म ज्ञानी का सदा नमस्कार।
सदा नमस्कार।
नानक ब्रह्म ज्ञानी को सदा नमस्कार।
नानक ब्रह्म ज्ञानी को सदा नमस्कार।
जैसे जल में कमल अलेप ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्लेप। जैसे
जल में
कमल
अलेप ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्लेप।
जैसे जल कमल लेप ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्लेप। जैसे
जल में कमल लेप ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्लेप। ब्रह्म ज्ञानी
सदा निर्लेप। जैसे जल में कमल लेप ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्लेप।
जैसे जल में कमल लेप
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा
सदा निर्लेप।
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी
सदा निर्लेप।
ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्लेप।
Just before the Shabad was sung by Penji Gurpreet Kaur, the Shabad isn't probably something, it's not a Shabad that you would have often heard being sung, because you're all familiar with it in Sri Sukhmani Sahib Bani. So you would have recited it, you would have read it, you would have heard it, but you probably wouldn't have heard it being sung in this way. And I'll tell you what was amazing, because just before the Shabad was sung, respected Paji that has, I think, only come to the Dwan for the second time, and just before I was going to come on stage, Paji tapped me and said, can you talk about today what the signs are of somebody that is completely God realized and has reached that supreme state of consciousness? I didn't say anything, but I smiled because I knew what Shabad was going to be sang, and I thought, I'm not going to need to go into it in detail because that's the very Shabad that we're going to be singing. In that Pauri, Guru Angad Dev Ji explains. Guru Angad Dev Ji gives in detail to us, goes through with us what it will look like and what it means when somebody becomes a Brahmagyani. Brahmagyani is a big word, and sometimes it gets thrown around a lot. So Sanghaji, what we'll try and do is now, even though you would have read the translations, you would have gone through what it means to be a Brahmagyani. And it's always very difficult to talk about a topic like this. And I'll tell you why it's difficult, because inside there's a little voice saying, you're so far from that. You read what it means to be completely conscious and God realized, and you're singing it, you're reading it, and it feels alien. It feels unachievable. And you think, well, that's them. And it gets even more difficult for people like myself. Because no matter how much I try and tell everyone that I'm just a normal guy, I'm like everybody else, I have my own struggles, I fall down, I have to be lifted back up. And for some reason, I was speaking to somebody through the one-to-one sessions that we provide as a service, and this Benji, such a beautiful, beautiful person, and she was talking to me, and as she was talking to me, she's having her own doubts and questions and the struggles that she's going through. She's asking me about my experiences of when I had my struggles, when I was at my darkest, when I was at my most difficult point in life. So she's going through, whilst I'm explaining to her what I experienced, what I did to get through and navigate through certain situations in my life. And I just said, Benji, look, I just want to remind you that I'm not completely through, I'm not completely on the other side, by the way. I still do have struggles. And I said, I do need to remind you that. And she's like, yeah, but you're still up there. I'm like, oh, no. Please understand what I'm saying. I don't just say it for the sake of it because it sounds good. And some people, I suppose, maybe they do say it and they don't really feel it. Maybe they do say, look, I'm the worst of the worst. I'm like a dog and I'm at your feet. And some people do, they have a tendency to speak like that. But maybe they don't really actually mean it or feel it. It's not easy sometimes to sit here and be real about where you really are in yourself. And so when I share that I still have my struggles, it's real. I'm not just making it up. So Sangaji, let's look at this. Like I said, so when we're trying to go through this, there's something eating inside to say, ooh, I'm so far from this place. What it means to be completely in that place of realization. So Sangaji, Guru Angad Dev Ji Paat Ji says to us that Brahmagyani sada nirlep, Jaise jal mein Kamal Alep. That somebody that is completely has become enlightened, they are Kamal Alep. They are like a lotus flower, meaning that they are detached. But Sangaji, what's really coming to my mind are the Pangatiyan if we go lower. And I'll tell you why I want to look at this, because Dekh means to have some form of blemish against you. And they're saying that a Brahmgyani is Sada Nirdok. They don't have any blemishes, they don't have any stains. Their vision is not stained. And what does that mean? So what's the opposite to that? Because if we look at the opposite to that, we'll be able to relate to it more. Because most of us sitting here thinking that, I don't know, is my vision stained? Or is my vision clear? Do I just look at everybody as they are for what they are? Because Guru Angad Dev Ji did. And we'll share in a moment how Guru Angad Dev Ji did that. Because we were supposed to be talking about how to deal with and how to... because there's so many different types of people in this world. There's a variety of different personalities, of different energies, of people have different patterns, different habits. And we were supposed to talk about how do you deal with these different personalities and different types of people in this world. But there's not really, I can't say, well, the answer isn't deal with them like this. Over there, stay quiet. Over there, be assertive. Because that's not really the answer. So what is the answer? The answer is that we would need to work on ourselves and go to more of a still place within ourselves. And then we can intuitively deal with every individual and different types of people in the way that we need to interact with them. It's not fixed. So now you're thinking, well, that's difficult. So let's look at this. What is the difference between us generally and a Brahmgyani? What does it mean that they are Sada Nirdok? So they have no dosh inside of them. So they've got no mark in their vision when they are looking out. What does it mean to have a mark in your vision when you're looking out? It's very simple. How many people sitting here can think of someone they are fond of, that they really like? Can you think of somebody that you are fond of and that you really like? Put your hands up if you can think of somebody right now that you're fond of. Okay. So now put your hand up if you can think of someone or you've experienced in your life somebody that you don't like and you're not very fond of. Put your hands up. So that means to have Dekh. That means to then be marked, to have a blemish in your vision when you're looking out. Because what's going to happen there is there's going to be favoritism. Automatically, you know the person that you're not fond of and you don't really like. Even when you see something in them, whether it be a quality, you're going to struggle to be able to see that within them. Because your mind's going to be saying to you, oh, I don't like them, they're annoying, I can't stand them. So sometimes this will happen. Somebody, for example, might be able to do amazing kirtan, but you'll block it in your mind just because of what you think of them. Because you have created a dislike towards them, and that is now a blemish within your vision in looking out. That's why we're not Brahmgyanis. Because we are filled with likes and dislikes. People that we are fond of and people that we can't stand. And then we're looking out of that vision, so we're not actually able to see reality and the truth. So then, we're marked. Imagine trying to look out of a pair of glasses that are stained, that are marked. And then you're not actually getting to see the truth and reality. And when we have these preconceived ideas, beliefs, conditioned our minds, then we're going to struggle to see the truth of that person. We're going to struggle to actually see that person for what they actually are. Even if they change, your mind is going to struggle to see that change, because you've got so many prejudices in your mind now. But they are this, but they are that. You're not going to be able to see them for what they are. Sangaji, this happens to us all the time. So, especially in families and relatives. They might have known you for someone that you were 10 years ago. They've still got that image in their mind of you. You might be a completely different person now, but they come with the glasses of that prejudice of what they knew of you, but they're not willing to move from that. So they now are not able to see you for what you actually are anymore. There's nothing wrong with having and building up evidence within your mind because of somebody's reoccurring patterns. Certain people have these cyclic patterns about them, so you know that they are more prone to that. But that's generally, you're being realistic there, but you're not looking down at them. You're not having this judgment of dislike towards them. Just let's make it a bit more real. People always say on the comments that I stitch Rajan up. But I just like talking to him. And it just makes it a bit more real. So I'm just going to have a chat with Rajan, if that's okay. Is that alright if I have a quick chat with Rajan? Rajan, have you experienced this in your life? He was thinking to such an extent that I wanted to do the loudest jagara ever because I resonate with it so much. And he was literally like, inside he was thinking, yeah, and literally he's thinking, what a silly question. And that's what it means to have a blemish. So, we have many different types of blemishes. We have blemishes with, this is mine, and this isn't mine. And we say something, this is mine. Mine could be, like the Guru says that, mero sabo kahata hai, hit se bandyo cheet. That I'm saying, this is mine, this is my daughter. This is not. Sangaji, I went onto this training program with somebody, and before they teach you any form of meditations, one of the first things that they try and embed inside of you is to say that, are you able to see yourself? They build it up to say, are you able to see yourself being a mother? If you have a child or somebody that you can take or see like a child. And most people will have that someone. That you feel this motherly warmth. And you can feel that even if you're a male, because there's certain qualities that have a feminine energy to that quality. For example, compassion. But a man can feel that too. So a man can feel motherly towards something as well. So don't get confused here. It's more of a feeling. You know how I said about responding to situations and different people? You can't plan it. You have to work on yourself first in solitude. You have to do a lot of self-work and then practice at home with your family. And then you show up in the world, then you intuitively know how to deal with people. We're getting onto that in a minute. Who knows what teet means? Who knows what teet means? Alright. There's a pankti in Gurbani. Does anybody know the pankti in Gurbani? It says, Pavon daan, teet hoy mango. It says if you want a gift, you've got to become teet. You've got to become like this stubborn little child that keeps turning up again and again. So just before we came to the program, Sundar Gurbani Kaur, our little 2-year-old, she wanted to play in the garden, but if she goes in the garden, she's going to get wet. She's going to wet all her clothes, and we haven't got time for that. We've got to come here. But did she give up asking? Garden janaya. And you just think after about the 20th time, you think she's going to get fed up. And you think you've got through to it. Nahi putt, aapa aj garden ch nahi jana hun. Aapa hun ninni karni ha, karke aapa gurdwara jana hai. And you do all of that and you think we've done it, we've got it. And she's like, gurdwara jana hai, gurdwara jana hai. And she's saying it as well. And then she turns around and she goes, garden jana hai. And you know, they experienced it just like, that's what they laugh in their heads off. Bhagat was looking after her. And Indra, she's saying, garden ch nahi jana. Garden ch nahi jana. You're not going to the garden. And she's like, Bhagat, you dare take her to the garden. Right? And then, but look what she's doing. Look what she's doing. Pavon daan, tea toy mango. She didn't stop. Main garden jana hai. Next thing you know, we turned around, Bhagat's taken her to the garden. Yeah. And Dekh is like, oh my God, Mum's going to tell you off. Yeah, but it worked. Tea toy mango. Sangatji, we hear so many times the divine doesn't listen. I've tried. God doesn't listen. How much have we actually tried? Have we tried like that? We actually thought we got through to her. She carried on. Like, how much do we really want to overcome our demerits and our blemishes? Like anger. And like having these dislikes and not being fond and not being able to stand someone, how much do we really want to get over that? How much do you really beg Vaheguru? I'm talking to myself, by the way. I'm saying you, but this is a Kathavachik term. Apne aap nu sambodhan. I'm talking to myself. I promise you that I am. Like, how much do I really want that? How much am I saying to Vaheguru really that, Vaheguru, can you just please see me through these dirty habits? This dirt in my mind. And if I keep saying, but you know what? There's an art to the way we say it. We can't just say, take this away. We need to say to Vaheguru what we want back in return instead. Bhagat Ravidas ji said, look, I've got so much bipatan, befta. Who's heard of that word? Beptan. Struggles, issues. Who's brave enough to put their hands up to say they've got issues? 2 hands here. Bare issues. Yeah. Yeah. But be specific. I'm struggling with this one. Let's just do one at a time. Come on. I had a little moment of anger today, so I'm going to focus on anger for me. And anger is something that can burn us completely. It can decay us from inside. Kaam, krodh, kaya ko galle. It has the power to start decaying our body. Physically, it can put us into such a bad place. That's why Bhagat Freed says that Frida bure da pala kar gussa man na handaye dehi rog na lagge palle sab kich. Whenever somebody would talk about anger to Jagrad Singh would say, read this slok. Read it. Keep saying it as an ardaas. Because this, you know how much compassion Bhagat Freed ji has on us? Because Bhagat Freed ji is saying that, why are you going to man na handaye? Handaye pata ki hunda? Sunaya hona tusi Punjabi vich unne kapda handa liya. Bahut paya hona unne handa liya kapda. They wore that cloth so much. They've worn it out now because they've wore it so much. But Freed ji is saying some people wear anger so much they wear out their mind. That's what that means. Who has had a go at wearing the cloth of anger and has then suffered by wearing out their mind with that? Look at you, all you angry people sitting there. Terrible. Now you're part of my crew. No, I'm not going to sit here and lie, because I'm going to thank Guru Sahib. Guru Sahib's brought me a long way. Yeah, so it's definitely not one of my biggest challenges at the moment. It just pops up every so often, just to say, remember me? I used to be with you all the time. And I'm like, yeah, you're best forgotten. You're best forgotten. But when you start wearing out your mind, it will start affecting you mentally. Not dealing with your anger can end up as serious mental health issues and depression, because anger is a very intense emotion. It's just an emotion. It's a very intense emotion. You cannot uphold a tense emotion for long periods of time. It's not possible, because eventually it will need to calm down. But if it's not been dealt with and you've not gone to a better place, then that anger eventually will turn into frustration. And that's exactly what he was experiencing. When I say he, who's he? What are we celebrating that just went on Thursday? It was Guru Angad Dev Ji's prakash purab. It was Guru Angad Dev Ji's prakash on Thursday, so we're celebrating that today. And somebody came to Guru Angad Dev Ji. His name was Humayun. Humayun was the son of, what was his name? Of Babur. Who knows Babur? Who's heard the name Babur? So Babur was the first Mughal that came and invaded India. Yeah. Before him, it was the Lodhis. It was 3 generations of the Lodhis, and then it was Babur that came. And Humayun was the son of Babur. And Humayun had been fighting this battle, and he lost a battle against somebody called Sher Shah. But at that time when Humayun lost this battle, he was the emperor. So when he's lost this little battle, he's lost his kingdom. He's distraught, he's frustrated, he's disappointed with himself. Who's experienced being disappointed with themselves? Who's experienced beating themselves up because they're so disappointed with themselves, and they keep going and they get into this cycle and this rut? So it goes into this little cycle. So he's now frustrated because he's lost. And so we lose battles all the time, but most of us, it's not necessarily physical battles that we lose mental battles. So what happens? Something happens, you lose a mental battle, you get frustrated and you start beating yourself up. Whilst you're beating yourself up, you get more and more frustrated. But what's going to happen to that frustration? It's going to lead into what? He's turned up frustrated. He remembered that my father Babur, he met Guru Nanak. And Guru Nanak gave him an abundance of blessings. Maybe if I go to the house of Guru Nanak, I will get an abundance of blessings too. So I'm seeing this from the eyes now of me being in his position, of being Humayun. He's turned up frustrated with himself, but he's also still holding that ego, that identity. I was the emperor, and it's only been a few hours or a day or so since he's not the emperor anymore. So you're holding on to this identity, whatever that might be, but I'm a wife, I'm a husband, I'm a son. You've got that identity that you're trying to hold on to. You just lost a mental battle with somebody, or a situation hasn't gone the way you wanted it to go with your partner or somebody. You've turned up, you're frustrated with yourself. He's frustrated with himself, and he's turned up at the door of Guru Angad Dev Ji Padshah. He's standing there, he's still adorned with all his weapons. And he's standing there. And remember, he was only emperor about a day ago, or maybe even a few hours. And he's thinking, I can get some blessings from this guru and maybe I can become the emperor again. So when he turns up and he's told people, and obviously the sevadars and the sangat's like, oh my God, it's Humayun, the emperor. Because everybody still thinks he's the emperor. They don't know he's just lost a battle. So he says, I want to see Guru Angad Dev Ji. And they said Guru Angad Dev Ji has been sitting in samadhi, they've been sitting in meditation, and they've been coming out of the meditation and being completely focused and teaching the children Gurmukhi, fully focused. The emperor, well, kind of emperor, not really emperor anymore, still in a place of power, still rules over a lot of areas. He's waiting there. He's frustrated with himself, remember. So what happens when you're not in a good place within yourself? What happens? What are you going to do? You're going to end up doing this. He's waiting and he's saying to the Sevadars, when's Guru Angad Dev Ji going to be ready? Does he know I'm here? They said, we've told him. We did tell Guru Angad Dev Ji. He said he's not even looked my direction. Does he know that I'm standing here? They said, yes, we've told him. And he's still standing there. Guru Angad Dev Ji, hours have gone by. They do not budge and do not look that direction. Sangaji, that is a Brahmgyani. Somebody that is not here to people please. Who has been in situations just because of your fear that somebody's gonna explode and then you're walking on eggshells. Who's been in those situations? अंकल जी तो काफ़ी जिंदगी देखी है ना साड़ी पार्टी दे लगते हैं तुसी ताई अपनी बनती है ना I've just promoted Paji to Uncle Ji. I didn't realize that when I did it. It's all right. Paji Uncle is putting his hand up to nearly every question. Very authentic person, very real person. And this is what it means not to be a people pleaser, not to always act from a place of fear. Yes, intuitively, yes, you're not going to be that one that is there to, you're not there to spark it and make somebody worse, but you intuitively, but you don't also want to play into their ego, and you don't also want to embed that negative personality within that person as well. Because that's what we end up doing. Sometimes we're so careful around someone, what we don't realize is we're embedding that negative trait in them. So we're actually not doing them any favors. We're just there, just trying to keep the peace. बोलियो ना, डैडी आ गया. डैडी ने गुस्से हो जाना. And look, Sangaji, look, I put my hands up because I can fall into this category, and I feel terrible sometimes because of having experienced intense mental health issues, and I know that my wife has said that to my children many of times, and I've reflected and I've thought, no, don't say that to them. I really have to just work more on myself because that's just damaging them. Don't put that on them. And there's consequences to every action. But even then trying to just protect somebody else's negative trait, that's a consequence too. But maybe it's at a much deeper level. Because we're deepening our fear, we're deepening our unauthenticness of not being real and having to live this life of pretense and fear all the time. But Brahmgyani has no dosh. Dosh also can mean fear as well, any negative traits. So they just see things for what they are. Guru Angad Dev Ji knew exactly what Humayun needed. They knew that his ego had got the better of him, For whatever reason, he's lost this battle. They knew where he was, and they knew if I just played into him and just said, "Oh Humayun, tu aaya siga? Ha, Badshah hai ithe da. Oh, the emperor. Oh, you're here." Guru Angad Dev Ji absolutely did not look his direction and continued teaching those kids and relating to being on the other side in those shoes. He's there fuming now, saying, "Yeah, I get it that I've just lost a battle, but come on, who does he think he is? Not looking at my direction. What is he just trying to put salt on my wound now?" So he gets so angry, his face goes red and he's raging, and he grunts and his hand goes towards his sword. He goes towards grabbing his sword, and his mind says, "You know what? Chop his head off." And he's referring to Guru Angad Dev Ji. People don't know, because most of us have heard are the stories of Guru Angad Dev Ji when they were Bhai Lena, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji would say, "Go and shake that tree because fruits are going to fall," even though it's off season. And there's Bhai Lena Ji running and shaking the tree. And all we've heard is there's Guru Nanak Dev Ji throwing a pot into the mud and looking towards Bhai Lena Ji, and Bhai Lena Ji's jumping into that mud. Those are the stories we know of Bhai Lena Ji. Bhai Lena Ji is still that. Bhai Lena Ji still must. Bhai Lena Ji still a servant. Bhai Lena Ji is still compassionate. Bhai Lena Ji is still that. But Bhai Lena Ji has always been, but just now showing it in a different way. Bhai Lena Ji has always been fearless, but now they're just showing their fearlessness in a different way. Because Sangat Ji, even to then, when you come from a higher caste family, you've come from a business background, and when somebody and your family is looking at you, and then you're there, you've turned up to now serve this sadhu, to serve this saint who is Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and you're there jumping into mud, you have to be fearless to do that as well, because it means not caring what people are going to think and say about you. And that's a whole nother katha, because people spoke so bad of Bhai Lena Ji for coming and serving Guru Nanak Dev Ji, because he was such a established business person, and they're saying, "What are you doing? This is embarrassing to our family. You're here rolling around and jumping and shaking trees and jumping in mud." He's there making you pick up weeds from the ground and it's dripping of mud, and you're running around with these beautiful clothes that you've got, an established business person. Our family had such a reputation, and you're there running around like this just person that's lost himself. You have to be fearless as well to serve the Guru. But here, Guru Angad Dev Ji wasn't here to people please, and they were being fearless. They didn't look his direction. They very quietly, the moment he was raging, he went to his sword and he's about to pull his sword out, and he just got stuck. And he just couldn't pull it out. All Guru Angad Dev Ji did was just looked at him, glanced at him. They said, "Jithe kadni si, जिथे चलाउणी नहीं सी ते तू चली नहीं, हुण तू आके साधुआं दे उत्ते चलाउण लगा है, चला ला." They said, where you were meant to use your sword in battle, you was not able to, and you succumbed to fear like a coward and you ran, and now you've got a saint sitting here teaching children, and now you're going to use that sword on me. Go ahead. He fell to his knees. Sangaji, you know, people are looking, they're saying, they're trying to work out where's heaven, where's hell. That moment he went for his sword towards a saint, that was hell he was living in. The moment he fell to his knees, he was in heaven. Because when somebody went and asked a Zen master, what is heaven and hell, where is it? The Zen master said to this disciple, he said, leave it, because he was a warrior. He says, leave it, you're not going to understand. The warrior said, no, I really want this wisdom from you. I've been fighting and battling my entire life. And the Zen master said, no, you're just not going to understand it. You haven't got enough intellect to understand. He says, what do you mean I haven't got enough intellect? He goes, you carry on with your sword. You know how some people are just good with fighting. They're like, no, koi nahi tu ladi ja. Tu danda lena, tu dande marya kar. And he's getting frustrated. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, I want this wisdom. He goes, what do you mean I'm not going to understand? And he takes his sword to the Zen master. He goes, there you go. That's hell. Your anger is hell. And he's like, oh my God. He dropped to his knees and he goes, there you go. You're in heaven. You just surrendered in humility. Humayun just fell to his knees and he was in heaven because he surrendered in humility. Humility is heaven. But look at the pattern and the psychology of what happens to our minds. He was frustrated with himself and he took his anger out, tried to take his anger out on somebody else because of his ego was getting hurt so bad. We are often angry, we are often frustrated with ourselves because we are struggling with our own mind, and we end up with outbursts of anger towards other people instead. And Sangat Ji, but if we are there, and he said, because I can't believe what I just did. And Sangat Ji, that's okay, because look, the truth is, we want those moments to just keep reducing. And they will come up every so often. But the longer you take beating yourself up about it, the longer you stay in a negative state, and the longer you stay in a negative vibration, and the longer it will take you to get out of it. The moment you mess up, just say, okay. Let me go back to my knees. Humayun went to his knees and he said, now what? Because I messed up. Because I can't believe it. Because I was frustrated with myself and I just outburst towards you. And that's why Guru Angad Dev Ji said, you will get your kingdom back. You will be a Badshah again. They said, but not just yet. Because you've got to do some work on yourself. So Sangat Ji, how do we deal with different people in our lives? Take out time to work on yourself. And how do you do that? Is a $1 million question, obviously. First, you start off with this ardaas like Bhagat Ravidas Ji did. You recognize and you put your hands up. I've got bipata, I've got struggles and I've got issues. You don't run away from them. You bring, like Carl Jung, the psychologist, said that you've got to, don't run away from your shadow side. The more you run away from your shadow side, these little demons that keep popping up, and the more you pretend they are not there, the more they are going to keep chasing you, and they're going to keep coming up in your life in unhealthy ways and in situations where you do not want them to come up. Then, even with the people that you love so much, you're frustrated with yourself and you're going to come up with anger with them and you're going to ruin your relationship. If you don't allow yourself to recognize that shadow side, that's what it means to be a Brahmagyani. Guru Angad Dev Ji dealt with him from a completely fearless place and did not treat him any differently, whether he was a king. That's the Pankti, isn't it, in that Shabad, in the Brahmagyani Shabad, when it comes up with towards the end, that Jaise Raj Rank ko lage tul pavan. So the first step is, Sangat Ji, don't run away and pretend about that shadow self, those little demons. Bring them to the surface and say that I do have these issues. And if we're on a path, don't say that I'm okay and I am what I am. The moment you say I am what I am, you're not on a path. You're not on this path of Guru Nanak then. You can say, in this moment I recognize that I struggle with this, but I'm here. Meri har ho bipat, with the pain, say, take this away from me. And taking this away from me is you're saying, here it is, I'm saying it's here. I've got this demon. You're saying, Meri har ho bipat, Jan, karo ho subai, but you're not saying, leave me empty. You're saying, fill me with love. And the more you focus on love, the more you will be filled with it. So just do a little practice every day. Visualize, envision somebody that is easy to bring into your mind that you do have love for. Can you think of somebody right now? So if we were to speak more accurately, let's get rid of this worldly language. I love that person. There's no such thing. That's not accurate accordingly to Guru's wisdom. What would be more accurate? This person creates an environment for me to experience love within myself. That's more accurate. When you say I love that person, you're going to remain in duality, and you're going to remain in I love that person, I don't love that person. I like this person, I don't like this person. You're never going to be able to get to that state of Brahmgyani. It's never going to happen, not going to come to you. So instead say, if it is whoever that person is for you, saying, and remember, be accurate again, say often. Because I bet you that same person gets you angry as well. But maybe they allow you to experience love more often. So be accurate and say, this person allows me to experience love. Get in touch with the love that's inside of me. That would be more accurate. So first, envision a person in your mind that allows you to go to a loving place within yourself. Can you think of someone right now? Okay, now just envision that person, something about them that just makes you feel love inside. Remember, don't get rid of that language that you love them. Because you're going to remain in duality. They allow you to experience love. Now, what I want you to do is close your eyes. Think of that person. Really feel it. Right at the center of you is your emotional center. Stay in that feeling towards them, and then now bring somebody within your mind that frustrates you, and take responsibility. That's you that gets frustrated, because it's subjective, because they don't frustrate everyone. I take responsibility of my frustration, whatever it is about them. Now bring that love that you experienced a few moments ago for that person that allows you to experience love. Bring that love into your heart now. Bring it back into your heart. And that person that frustrated you is still there in front of you. And now shower them with that love that you are capable of at all times. Meri har ho bepat, jan karho sabai. Fill my heart with love, because I'm capable of it. Because I showed myself that I was able to do it with the other person. It means I can stay in that place even with that other person, because I take responsibility of my frustration. I'm not going to give them the power. I'm not going to give them the key to my emotions to bring me down. Because meri har ho bepat jan karho subai. Sangat ji, we're all going to sing. I'm going to thank Guru Angad Dev Ji Patsha Ji for showing us this fearlessness. Guru Angad Dev Ji said, you're going to work on yourself now. You're going to do bandagi, you're going to do bhakti. And you're going to bring more compassion and devotion into your heart, and then you're going to rule. How can I deal with other people? Is by working on myself, by doing practices such as this that we just did now. By bringing that to the surface and doing that ardaas, take this darkness away from me. Take this blemish and mark away from me. And now we're going to do, and we're going to sing this shabad, and we're going to say, Bande khoj dil har roz. We're going to say to myself that, let me go deep inside of my heart every day. Na fir pareshani mahe, so that way I don't have to constantly go in this cycle of anxiety. I'm telling myself this because recently again I've seen this little dip, and that anxiety has just been showing up more and more. It means that I've not been doing enough ardaas. It means that I've not bringing up that blemish and that shadow up to the surface enough, and talking to that Vaheguru that is sat inside of me, and then allowing myself to do what? Ttuk dam Karaaree. Jo Karhu. Hazir, Hazur, Khudaye. Ttuk, dam. Ttuk means for just a little moment. Dam means breath. Karaaree. Karaaree means to hold still. Let me just hold still my mind for a moment, let go. Slowly just start letting go of everything. Whatever I think I am, whoever I think I am, I've got this responsibility, I am this, I've got an organization to run, let me just let go of all of those let me just start stripping away. What about this person doesn't like me, I spoke to, let me just go beyond that noise. Let me just go into a place of just where I can experience Hazir, the presence, Hazur, Khudai, of that Khuda. Khuda means apne aap de vichon, khud vichon banaya hoya, the one that is self-illuminated. Our very true self that is within us right now. Tukadam, even for a moment, just let go of everything. Sit here right now in that stillness, in the presence of that very true self that you are. Pranavat Nanak Gyani kaisa hoye aap pachane bujhe soye. Who is a Gyani? Who is somebody that is truly learned? Somebody that knows their true self beyond the noise of their mind. Bande khoj. Let me go deep inside every day. Let me take time out. Let me take time out to fill myself, fill my heart with love. Ttuk dam Karaaree. Let me just let go of everything right now in this moment. Ttuk dam Karaaree jo Karhu. Hazir Hazuru Khudaye. Kar fakkar daim. Laye chasme. Let me bring this love and devotion into my heart. Laye fakar dayam. Dayam means in every moment. Allow my heart to be filled with devotion. Laye fakar dayam. Laye chasme. Kar fakar dayam laye chasme. Let me then look at this world through these glasses of devotion. Allow me to be able to see everybody from that place of love. Fakkar means devotion. Dayam means every moment. This is Farsi. Kar fakkar dayam. Lai chasme. Allow me to wear the glasses and look through the lens of devotion, but I have to bring it into my heart myself. I have to take out that time to fall and do that ardaas. Meri har ho bipat jan karho sapai. Come on, let's all sing this Shabad of Bhagat Kabir Ji and truly do the ardaas to say, just let me let go. Allow me to let go of the noise and the blemishes and the marks and the dirt and the dislikes. It's not them, it's me. It might not be, they might be the way they are, and it's okay if we can't be in each other's company. But don't allow me to be stuck in I don't like them. Allow me to be in a place of love. And then whatever that folds out to externally, allow that to be. Let's sing this.
हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए, 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 दम करारी जो करो, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए,
दम करारी जो करो, हाजिर
हुजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए, दुखदम करारी जो करो, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए, दुखदम करारी जो करो, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए, कते इफ्तरा भाई, दिल का फिक्र ना जाए, कते इफ्तरा भाई, दिल का फिक्र ना जाए, कते इफ्तरा भाई, दिल का फिक्र न जाए, कते इफ्तरा पाए, दिल का फिक्र न जाए, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए, दुखदम करारी जो करो, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए, दुखदम करारी जो करो, हाजिर हुजूर खुदाए। बंदे खो दिल हर रो, ना फिर परेशानी आए, बंदे खो दिल हर रो, ना फिर परेशानी आए, ये जो दुनिया शहर में, ये जो दुनिया शहर में, ये जो दुनिया हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हुक्म करारी जो हाजिर हजूर खुदाए,
हुक्म करारी जो करो हाजिर हजूर खुदाए,
हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए,
हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए,
हुक्म करारी जो
हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हुक्म करारी जो करो हाजिर हजूर
खुदाए। द्रोह पढ़ पढ़ खुशी हो, बेखबर बाद बकाए। द्रोह पढ़ पढ़ खुशी हो, बेखबर बाद बकाए। हक सच खालक खलक में आने, हक सच खालक
खलक में आने,
हक सच खालक खलक में आने, हक सच खालक
खलक
में आने। श्याम मूरत नामे, श्याम मूरत नामे, श्याम मूरत नामे, श्याम मूरत नामे। हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए। तुक दम करारी जो करो हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, तुक दम करारी जो करो हाजिर हजूर खुदाए। बेकते इस तरह पाई, दिल का फिक्र न जाए। बेकते इस तरह पाई, दिल का फिक्र न जाए, दिल का फिक्र न जाए, दिल का फिक्र न जाए। हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए। हुक्म करारी जो करो हाजिर हजूर खुदाए,
हुक्म करारी जो करो हाजिर हजूर
खुदाए। लहंग दरिया गुसल कर दनबूद आसमान में आने लहंग दरिया गुसल कर दनबूद आसमान में आने लहंग दरिया गुसल कर दनबूद आसमान में आने लहंग दरिया गुसल कर दनबूद कर फकर दाए चश्मे कर फकर दाए चश्मे कर फकर दाए चश्मे कर फकर दाए चश्मे जह तहाँ मौजूद जह तहाँ मौजूद जह तहाँ मौजूद जह तहाँ मौजूद कर फकर दाए चश्मे कर फकर दाए चश्मे जह तहाँ मौजूद जह तहाँ मौजूद जह तहाँ मौजूद जह तहाँ मौजूद अल्लाह पाक पाक है शक करो जे दूसर हो अल्लाह पाक पाक है शक करो जे दूसर हो अल्लाह पाक पाक है शक करो जे दूसर हो अल्लाह पाक पाक है शक करो जे दूसर हो कबीर कर्म करीम का कबीर कर्म करीम का कबीर कर्म करीम का कबीर कर्म करीम का वो करे जाने सोए वो करे जाने सोए वो करे जाने सोए वो करे जाने सोए हाजिर हुजूर खुदा हाजिर हुजूर खुदा हाजिर हुजूर हाजिर हुजूर खुदा तुक दम करारी जो करो हाजिर हुजूर खुदा तुक दम करारी जो करो हाजिर हुजूर खुदा 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 तुक दम करारी जो करो 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 हाजिर हुजूर खुदा हाजिर हुजूर खुदा इफ्तरा पाए, दिल का फिक्र न जाए, वेद करे इफ्तरा पाए, दिल का फिक्र न जाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, तुकदम करारी जो करो, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, तुकदम करारी जो करो, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए, हाजिर हजूर खुदाए। राम कली महला तीजा, आनंद एक ओंकार, सतगुर प्रसाद, आनंद पया मेरी माए, सतगुरु मैं पाए,
सतगुर का पाया सहज से की जिया
राग रतन दरबार परियां, शब्द का बनिया, शब्दों का गाओ
हरि के राम हरि
नानक आनंद हो, सतगुरु मैं पाए, ये मन मेरा सदा रहो नाल रहो, तू मन मेरे दुख साथ विसारना, अंगीकारो करे तेरा भारत साथ सवारना, सपना गला समरथ सुआमी, जो क्यों मनो विसार, कह नानक मन मेरे सदा रहो हर नाय, साचे साचे का क्या नहीं करते, करता तेरे सब कुछ है, इससे सो पाए, सदा सिद्ध सदा तेरी नाम मन वसाए, नाम चिंतन मन बसया, बाजे शब्द कलेरे, कह नानक सच्चे साहिब क्या नहीं करते, सजना मेरा आधारो, साजना आधार मेरा, जिनको आसा भगवान, हर शांत सुख मन आए बसया, जिन्हें इच्छा सब पुराया, सदा पुरवान किता गुरु बिट्टो, जिस भी आए बड़ाया, कह नानक सुनो संतो, शब्द आते यारो, साचा नाम मेरा आधारो, बाजे पंच शब्द चित अरस भागे, अरस भागे शब्द बाजे कला जित कर तारिया, पंच रूप खुद वस कीते काल कंटक मारिया, तो ਘਰ ਅਨਹਦ ਬਾਜੇ ਅਨੰਦ ਸਮੋਹਟ ਭਾਗਿਓ ਸਗਲ ਮੋਲਕ ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਪਾਇਆ ਉਤਰੇ ਸਦ ਜਗ ਸੂਰੇ ਦੁਖ ਰੋਗ ਸੰਤਾਪ ਉਤਰੇ ਸੁਣੀ ਸੱਚੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਸੰਤ ਸਾਜਨ ਪਏ ਸਰਸੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਗੁਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਣੀ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਪੁਨੀਤ ਕਹਤੇ ਪੁਨੀਤ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਰਹਿਆ ਹਰ ਪੂਰੇ ਬਿਨ ਬੰਤ ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਰ ਚਰਨ ਲਾਗੇ ਵਾਜੇ ਅਨ